Hi, Madeline.
So, isn't our topic today about assessment?
Yeah, assessment. So I love teaching, but I must say I don't enjoy all the grading and marking in large classes. My question is, how can we make grading and marking kind of more manageable for teachers of large classes?
Right. I guess we should probably talk about the different types of assessments. There are two big types of assessments, the formative and then the summative. The formative assessments are the ones you take along the way, and then the summative assessments is at the end. This is where you test all of the students' learning and make sure they've gotten what they've needed. Kind of like a final exam.
Okay, so let's start with formative assessment and more specifically, who does it. So the teacher assesses the students, but when there's a lot of students, sometimes this can become time-consuming, right? So let's consider who can help assess students, like peer assessment and self-assessment. Do you guys have any ideas on how to make this work well with large classes? I know sometimes students either don't assess themselves accurately or they're too harsh, or sometimes students might not know how to assess their peers or they're afraid to do it.
Yeah, I use a checklist so students can respond to things like the group used English most of the time or everyone participated. In addition to the checklist, we can also teach our students how to give helpful peer feedback, making sure that their feedback is kind, constructive, and specific.
Yeah, and I think in-class assessment, when teachers and students are actually assessing while something's going on in the classroom, that can be time-saving. I'm trying to do more of that.
Yes. So in-class assessment can actually be done in a group. So we can have groups of students working in threes, and then they can evaluate two other groups. And in this process, all the groups get a chance to perform. They get to assess other groups, and they also get to be assessed themselves.
That's a good idea. Hey, that reminds me. Have you guys ever heard of CATS?
Like the animal?
Not really. So CAT stands for Classroom Assessment Technique. It's ways to assess students. And in this one CAT, what you do is you ask students to answer 4 questions at the end of class, represented by a smile, a frown, an exclamation point, and a question. So the smile, they say, what did they like about the class today? The frown is maybe something they didn't like. An exclamation point is something new they learned. And then a question they had about the content. So the students write this down quickly on a small piece of paper, and then when they leave the class, they hand it to the teacher like as an exit ticket. It's supposed to be anonymous, like they don't put their name on it. And the students, well, the first time it takes a while, but then they get faster and faster, and the teacher gets better at doing it quickly too, at reviewing what they said so that she can improve the next time.
I like that idea. So a teacher can use CATs to assess their own teaching as well as student learning. Like if they hear, I don't like how fast you were talking, then next time she can speak a little bit slower. Or if the teacher learns that a student is getting bored or they need more breaks, she can use this to do better next time to improve the learning.
Exactly.
I think we need to talk about learning outcomes, which is tied to assessment. For example, if we want to assess whether students are giving good peer feedback, we can give them a quiz. And in the quiz, they need to select good peer feedback is kind, constructive, and specific. And in this way, the assessment circles back to the learning outcome.
Okay, so if we were to assess our teacher support circle, how would we do that?
Well, we would use all of the great ideas that we've come up with to teach English in large classes, of course.
I think we'll pass, don't you?
I think we have to ask the students.